Okay guys, this will be the second video for our junk journaling for beginners. And what we are going to do today is we are going to learn tools of the trade, or just basic necessities and tools that you're going to need to start off. I have a sewing machine. You don't have to use a sewing machine. Everything that I use here that I show you, you can do without having one. So don't feel all down if you don't know how to sew or you don't have a sewing machine. You do not need one, although it is nice, not gonna lie. So one of the first things I want to say is you need a garbage can, like a mini garbage can, and you need a scrap bin. So here's my scrap bin. It is all full of all sorts of goodies. And the wonderful thing about junk journaling is don't throw away anything. You can always use it. There was a snippet challenge on my that's actually due today for Facebook, and I know I'm not going to have time to get in on that. But all of these goodies, just the fabric alone, would be perfect for a snippet roll challenge. And the papers could be used for Franken pages. If you don't know what that is, hop on over to Nick the Booksmith's channel and check out her Franken page video. So that's a big one. So a scrap bin, and of course a trash bin so you can keep your desk clean. Another thing you are going to need is you need 2 pairs of scissors. Any quilter will know this, and those of you who are quilters, when you were younger, you always wondered why mom would rip your head off for using the quilting scissors on paper. Now that we're older, we know. So you have your paper scissors and your quilting scissors, because if you ever cut this with paper, they will never be sharp enough to cut material again. I mean, you can sharpen the crap out of them, but it will take you forever. So just spare yourself the heartache and time, and get yourself a pair of paper and a pair of material scissors. So another big thing that you're definitely going to need is an awl. I actually had to look everywhere to find this thing. I think I finally found it at Michael's. I didn't see any at Joann's, but I found mine in the leather section at Michael's. So if any of you know anywhere where you could pick one up, or you can drive down to the store to pick one up, throw it down in the comments. I'm sure it would have really helped people out who are watching this video, because if you're anything like me, I hate ordering stuff online because you never know the quality you're going to get when it actually comes in the mail. So, this one is pretty simple. I've never used the bobbin case in the bobbin, so I could not even begin to tell you how it works. What I literally do is I will leave my thread off to the side, and I will run it through my needle and do it like that instead of having it down in the bottom. But your thread comes through a hole right here, and then you just spin it up through your needle. If you do use the bobbin, you have to make sure that your notch in your needle is lined up with this notch here. And this one comes with 2 needles. It has this curved needle, and then it has this straight needle. And with these needles, they have a notch on them. You see this notch? So this notch is what I'm talking about, that has to be lined up right here. So if you do use the bobbin case, then it has to line up. If it doesn't line up, then you're probably going to end up playing hell with it, or playing, you know, yeah, not having a lot of fun working with your awl. So even if you're not using the bobbin thread, just having it lined up with this really helps too, because when you're finished, you put your thread through here, and then you thread it through your needle, and then you slide back on your top, and you tighten it, and that's why there's that notch, so you can have your thread coming through. And then you tighten it down, and once you screw this down, your needle, oops, just kind of popped out there, I didn't tighten it down, tighten up, your needle is secure. Now, depending on the projects you're working on, if you're working on like heavy duty stuff and you don't tighten this down enough, your needle will pop out. So, just an FYI. But this one is a pretty nice one. I think I paid, I want to say it was $24, but I used a coupon on it. and I've used it like non-stop since I bought it. This thing has seen a lot of work. So, I mean, even using the sewing machine. So, where's my mermaid one that I just had from my last video? So, with these mermaid signatures, I will lay all my signatures on top of each other and I will stitch them. And then when I'm finished with that, I will take my template that I make depending on how many holes I want. I will take my template and, oh, I know, here it is. I will punch the holes in my signatures even though they already been stitched. And I will, here's one of my previous journals I just did. And you can tell the stitch work. So there's still the stitching from the sewing machine, but there's also the thread that holds the signature in place. So it really does help. The only downside of not having a sewing machine and stitching this way is when I first started, sorry about that. When I first started, I had to clamp these in order to get the stitching to line up properly and keep my signatures from moving all over the place. So let me go find my little clamps and I'll be back to you because you will need those if you do not have a sewing machine. Okay, so I found my little clamps. You can get these at pretty much anywhere that sells office supplies. And you can use them to easily clamp your pages and hold them in place while you sew. But these are not the clamps I use. I actually use these for my filing and stuff. But they are really pretty, so. These I got from Harbor Freight. I think they were like 90 some odd cents. Very heavy duty, last you for probably ever. And you just use them and clamp them. I have 4 of these around here. But ever since I've been sewing them, I don't use them as much. If I hand stitch, I will definitely use these. And you gotta be pretty strong. I don't want to say like epic strong, but you gotta be pretty strong in order to open these. So you know they're not gonna come off of your pages while you're working with them. Alrighty. So let's get into a couple of other tools here. Okay, so all these lines that you can see, and there's Fiskars right here. Any of you who've seen their paper cutting tools or their hole punches tools that you know about, they also make rotary mats. This is a really good thing to get to protect your surface. They can be really expensive. But the one thing I do gotta say is watch out for them at thrift stores. See how there's this black stuff coming out from the bottom here that I was actually playing with earlier in one of my videos? This is electrical tape because I got this one at a yard sale for 50 cents. And it works great for all of my crazy don't damage my surface projects. So, literally 50 cents. So keep an eye out for them at yard sales. It's literally just this huge, thin plastic mat. I'll lift up the corner here and show you. Huge, big plastic mat that just works perfect. If any of you know what rotary cutting is, you should know exactly what this is. So, definitely get yourself one of these. It will really help to protect your surfaces. Another thing is, we'll talk about the thread later. Okay, so this tool is probably one of the most important ones you could invest in, and it is a hot glue gun. So this is my bag from a hot glue gun. I got it at the 99-cent store, and it literally works perfect. And this bag is the perfect size for everything. So you can buy miniatures or small ones at Michael's, I think Hobby Lobby, Joann's, for pretty darn cheap, and you can coupon it. Mine, I got at a yard sale. It is a multi-temperature one. It gets really hot. I have gotten some first-degree burns off of this, so be careful. They're very hot. This one comes with a nice flip-out stand and this removable cord and all of this wonderful glue. I keep it in the bottom of my bag. You will use this not only for junk journaling, but almost every other project you can imagine. Whether you are an avid junk journaler or just a crafter in general. You know you're a heavy-duty crafter when you have a 210 pot glue gun. Definitely get yourself one of these. It is really going to help you out in the long run. Another thing is a rotary ruler. I don't think these are called officially rotary rulers, but you get them in the same place you get these mats. And they're these huge, thin, large plastic rulers. This one is actually one of my favorites that work perfect for cutting down your thick cardboard. This one's crescent. This is what I use. For cutting down your thick cardboard, for cutting your papers, for cutting all your other projects. If you're like me and you don't have any of those fancy paper cutting tools, these are pretty simple and work great for that. I have a rotary cutter, but I only use that on fabric because I only got, well, now I got two. I take that back. My mom gave me a miniature the other day, and I have a big one that I bought myself. And the miniature works great for when I work on small projects because I have a miniature rotary mat too that I have to find because I use it when I know where it is. I use it all the time. So if you don't have a rotary knife or can't afford one, go down to the 99-cent store or the hardware store and pick yourself up a cheap razor knife. You're gonna need it. This one has a safety feature. You push up the blade and pop this down and it holds it in place. And then you can pull it back down and pop it in place and it still holds it. These are pretty nice because they break off. If you could see that score line, they break off and then you have a nice new sharp blade and you have a couple of uses out of it before you have to go buy a new one. So I think those are all the basic hardcore tools that I use. I bought a putty knife the other day at the hardware store, but that's not officially junk journaling. That's mixed media, and I'm going to be getting into that here pretty soon and adding it into the junk journaling, but that's a whole nother video. So another big thing that helps out, especially for paint, is paint brushes. Or not paint, for glue, certain glues. These ones I think were from Walmart. I paid a couple of bucks for a whole bunch of them. And this big one that I use all the time for my tea staining, I got at a yard sale, and it's actually for painting porcelain dolls. So if you go to yard sales, look for craft supplies, paint brushes. I think they gave me these. So, I mean, definitely keep an eye out. And another great thing, these aren't really tools, these are just little hacks. Go down to Walmart or any other office supply store, 99-cent store, get yourself some cards. They work perfect for making tags really easy. You just hack off the corners, punch a hole, you got yourself a tag. Not only that, but if you get the ones, you can get the ones with lines, you have writing space. Like writing lines to keep everything even. I don't like the ones with lines. I like the ones without because I collage mine. And then you can take them into the kitchen and paper stain them. If you want to watch my paper staining video, check the little icon up here or check the comments below and also look at the end of the video. There'll be an awesome way on how I do this paper staining. Really fun technique, and you will learn a lot, especially if you don't know how to color paper stain or just paper stain in general. The technique can be crossed over either between coffee and tea staining or color staining. Really fun. So another big thing, thread. Always have some sort of yarn, thread, string. I get this string at Walmart. It is $1.50. When you first get it, it is this big. Does that tell you how much I use this? A lot. So this one I seen the other day and it was so beautiful I had to have it because this is like my favorite color ever. And I just picked this up for $1.50. Can you believe it? And I use it on almost everything. Another thing is, if you would like to check out my haul videos, I always get lots of string and ribbon for good bargains at I want to say Hobby Lobby is where I got that one. Michael's and Joann's, you don't really find too much string. I think the best places I found string on clearance would be Hobby Lobby. And you will use quite a bit of string, especially for binding your text blocks, You could use them for closures. I mean, you could use them for the tips of your tags. You could use them for almost anything. Another fun, cute idea. Get yourself some Tim Holtz bottles. You can put all those itty bitty scraps that you're never going to use in the Tim Holtz bottles and put them up on your shelf, and they're your junk journal seeds. So such a cute little great idea, little tidbit in there. Alrighty. I think those are just oh, I did mention the crescent a little bit earlier. If you're going to be officially making your own covers and not upcycling books, go down to Hobby Lobby, get yourself some crescent. Super thick. I mentioned it in my review of Nick the Booksmith's video. Some of the materials she uses, we cannot exactly cut without having the proper tools or someone available to cut it for us. For those people, get yourself some crescent board down at Hobby Lobby. It works perfect. Super thick. Makes nice, thick, hard books. I mean, nice and hard. My spine is like, I could probably knock somebody out with that. The mermaid one is made with the same one. Really super thick, heavy duty. The spine doesn't even bend at all. I'm like putting all of my strength in my hand. And my hands are pretty strong. So, I mean, that's got to tell you that it's pretty heavy duty. So, I hope these tips really helped. Any other tools of the trade that I use, just ask and I will let you know what it is, where I get it from. You can get these mats, all this rotary stuff. You can get it at Walmart, Joann's, any sewing or quilting shows, quilting expos, quilt shops. But if you want to buy it for a bargain price and you don't have coupons, go to Walmart. If you want to be able to buy it at a bargain price and you have coupons, go to Joann's. Perfect place to get it. So I think that is pretty much it for all of my basic tools. Oh, one more tool I almost forgot. And I just recently got introduced to it. I'm in love with it, but it's outrageously expensive for me. It's like $6 or $7 a bottle, Fabri-Tac. But one of these bottles, I can use about that much of a bottle, and it will do one large, like it did my large mermaid journal. So I want to say 4 inches of glue. Yeah, 4 inches of glue out of this 5-inch bottle for my large mermaid journal, and that thing was pretty huge. And I'm just, taking that in consideration, I'm assuming it'd be like an inch or two. Because actually, I used this one to make the spring Easter one. I didn't use it for anything else. So yeah, about 2 inches of the glue to make one of the miniatures. So it will last you a little bit, but keep in mind, this glue is pretty expensive as glues go. Buy it at Joann's and use a coupon. You're probably going to get a better deal on it and save some money. I hope this helps. I really love this glue. This is not sponsored or anything. This is just some helpful tips on some of the products I use and things that I use that work really great for making journals and even crafting on other artsy crafts. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope this helped you out. And please enjoy your junk journaling. Find me on social media, pretty much almost every single platform you can find. I'm at Lilmissdasie. Tag me in your photos. Tag me in your videos. Let me see your projects. I would love to hop on over and see all of the wonderful goodies everyone has to offer. I hope you all have a wonderful day and God bless. Bye.